Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome every student for the service, and today we have a new lesson. We are targeting third secondary stage, and the name of the lesson Unit 3 Vocabulary Grammar, and the name of the course is Traveler 5. Keep in mind that we're still in the first semester. Alright, what we will learn today, we are going to focus on two things. Number one, identify words related to crime and practice in using past simple and past progressive. Alright, so we are going to do two things. We are going to identify the words that related to crime, and also we are going to practice how to use past simple and past progressive. So it's not difficult. The tenses generally you used to take it since second and first grade, even intermediate stage. All right, let's move to the next slide. Now, you are familiar with the warming up page, which is as an introduction to the lesson. And what can you see in this picture now? Someone running, or he is taking something with him. If you can see that, can you describe it to me? What is that? All right. I want to ask you just a question. What kinds of crimes are common where you live? If there is a crimes where you live, what kind of them? Do you know the names of crimes or the criminals? Sometimes in certain crimes they have certain names. Okay, so we all agree that this is a picture of someone who's stealing something, and we can see the broken window over there. Okay. Now, what kinds of a crime do you know? We have here more than 10 crimes, the name of more than 10 crimes. For example, hijacking, blackmail, murder, burglary, smuggling, kidnapping, uh, mugging, terrorism. Okay, more than 10 crimes. I need you just to focus with me, and as much as you can try to remember the kind of a crime that you know. For example, what is the meaning of the word murder? When do we call this crime is hijacking? And the same thing with blackmail. Uh, the same thing also with all the words in this um, smart chart. So tell me please, what kinds of a crime do you know? Shoplifting, it's not difficult. You can figure out this from the word shop. Okay. All right. Now let's move to the exercise to make the job easier for you. And your mission is to complete the table with missing words. Okay? So you see now here different kinds of criminals. And we want to just write the name of the crime or even the name of the criminal in that crime. Okay, we have a chart here. You can see in this column we are talking about verb, and in this column we should write the name of the crime, and this is the name of the criminal. Okay, so number one, rob. What do we call the name of the word of the verb rob? The name of the crime, is it robbing? robbery, robbering. You need to make the right decision. And the same thing for the name of the criminal, which is it end with ER or not? So you need to make your choice. The second word is theft as a name, as a noun, and kidnapping, shoplift, burglary, murder, and finally hijacking or hijacking. You can try to memorize those pictures with the words on the left hand side so you can get the right meaning. Okay, are you ready now to check your answers and make sure that you get it right from the first time? Here we go. For the first verb, robbery is the name of the crime or the noun, and the name of the criminal is robber. Theft, thief. Kidnap, the verb, and the crime, kidnapping, and the criminal is kidnapper. Shoplift, the verb, shoplifting, the crime, and the criminal, shoplifter. The same thing with burgle, the verb, burglary, the crime, and burglar, the name of the criminal, and the verb murder. The same thing with the crime, murder as well, and the name of the criminal is murderer. Okay, the last word, hijack, the crime, hijacking, and the criminal, hijacker. Okay, so well done for those who get it right from the first time, and also well done for those who get 2 or 3 words right. And anyone face any difficulty, this is normal in the beginning, but just try to keep on and work hard to overcome that difficulties. All right? We have another exercise related to crimes as well. So complete the sentences using the correct form of the words in the box. Rob, steal, burgle, and mug. So number 1, the police received a tip that someone was planning to the bank. Number 2, someone tried to my grandfather the other day, but he beat him with his cane. Number 3, someone opened my briefcase and my passport. The Smith's home was last week. So we have 4 spaces and we have 4 words, and we need to put the right word in the right space. For example, for number 1, the police received a tip that someone was planning to rob, steal, burgle, mug the bank. What do you think the right word for the first sentence? For the second sentence as well, someone tried to my grandfather. Is it steal, mug, burgle with his my grandfather the other day, but he beat him with his cane? And number 3, someone opened my briefcase and my passport as well. So is it mug or burgle? Okay, the last thing, Smith's home was steal, burgle, mug, rob. But keep in mind that we are focusing as well on the correct form of the word. So sometimes you cannot write it as it is in the option box, but you should write it in the correct form. It depends on where the place of that word in this sentence. All right, so please don't forget that we are focusing as well on the correct form beside the correct option. So for example, if you say rob for the first option, you should write it in the right form, okay, or the correct form. Okay, we are going to check now your answers together. So the police received a tip that someone was planning to rob the bank. Someone, for number two, someone tried to mug my grandfather the other day, but he beat him with his cane. And number three, someone opened my briefcase and stole my passport. If you notice that we are using past symbol here. And the final sentence, the Smith's home was burgled last week. Good job for those who get it from the first time without no mistake. Now we are going to move to the second objective of the lesson, which is how to use past simple and also how to use past progressive in the coming slides. Now the question for you, what did you do today? I washed my hands. Someone is washing his hand in this picture. Now what can you see in this sentence? Is anything different about other sentences? We can see the word washed washed in orange color. Is this the difference? No, we are using the verb ed. Okay, so what is the verb ed? Why do we use it? Just focus with me on this slide. Last night I played my guitar loudly and the neighbors complained. Alright. It rained yesterday. Angela watched TV all the night. He was a student. I went to Peach. You ate my cake. You didn't need a mechanic. Did you go to work yesterday? Alright. So what can you notice for those verbs in the red color? Went, ate, watched, rained, played. This is how the simple past or the past symbol structure. Subject plus the verb. The verb should be an ed form. And some verb, for example, for the verb go, the past tense is went. So we called it irregular verbs, which is not ending with ed. Sometimes it's different word and sometimes it's the same word. For example, like the word cut, the past form is cut and the past participle as well is cut. So those verbs who did not end with ed, we called it irregular verbs. So, for example, like the word ate, it's a regular verb, but the word watched is regular verb, which is the most of the verbs in English end with that in the simple past. So, here we go with the position of the simple past. And keep in mind that we use simple past when we want to talk about completed action. I played, I washed, I read a book last week. Those words is just completed actions. Okay, this is mainly for the past simple, and this is the structure of the past simple. Subject before the verb and the object after the verb. This is will be a completed sentence. All right. What about the past progressive? And what is the difference between past simple and past progressive? Keep in mind that past simple is described a completed action. What about past progressive? We are going to see now. Use the past progressive to describe an action that was in progress at a specific time in the past. I was having coffee. She was eating ice cream. So this is the past. This is present or now, and this area is the future. We are talking about specific time in the past. Yesterday in the morning, I was writing my homework. All right, so I am describing a specific time and a specific action. This is the past progressive. So it's related to action that is continued in the certain or specific time in the past. And those were the examples. I was having coffee and she was eating ice cream. Okay, here is a small comparison between past progressive and simple past. Use past progressive for action in progress, as I told you, and also use when and the simple past when the action that interrupts. For example, the man was reading the newspaper when the thief snatched his briefcase. So in this sentence, as you can see, we are using past progressive and also past simple together. So the man was reading. This is past progressive. The newspaper when the thief snatches his briefcase. Snatches is simple past, and we can figure out from the ed in the form of the verb. Okay, so if you can see in this chart, this is the past. This is a certain time in the past. The man was reading, and then we move to the newspaper when the thief snatched his briefcase. So snatches is going to be after the reading action. Okay, and keep in mind that we are far away from present, and as well as for the future, we are in the middle of the narrow between past and present. All right. So in this sentence again, we are using past progressive and also simple past. We can see the past progressive in the green color and we can see the verb of simple past in blue. All right, this is the assessment. And it's not difficult as well. Complete the text with the past simple or the past progressive of the verbs in brackets. Number one, while I drive to work, a traffic policeman stopped me because I not wear my seat belt. When young, he get up early every morning, wash his face and have breakfast before he go to school. Number three, my brother always get into a trouble as a child. And the final sentence, Paul usually go fishing at weekends, but he later it give up. So in the brackets in the red color, those were the verb or the words. Verb we should write them in the past simple or past progressive. It's not difficult. I suppose most of you get it. At least now three answers or get the three answers for three different spaces. Here we go with the right form of the verb. While I was driving to work, a traffic policeman stopped me because I wasn't wearing my seat belt. When he was young, he got up early every morning, washed his face, and had breakfast before he went to school. And my mother always got, or you can say my mother was always getting into trouble as a child. Paul usually went fishing at weekends, but he later gave up. Okay? Okay, what we learned today, if you can just memorize with me the lesson, we learned the crimes and the verb of the crime and the name of the crime and the name of the criminal, and also past symbol and the form of past symbol, and at the same time we learned the past progressive and also the structure, and also we learned how to use past progressive with past symbol at the same time. We give you this sentence as an example of that. Those were the references of the lesson. I would like to thank you really for you watching the lesson. Hope to see you next time. And please, if you don't uh, understand anything or you want to ask about anything related to the Roost project, please contact us via the website or through Twitter account or through the phone as you can see it here. Thank you again. Hope to see you next time. Until that, goodbye for now.